Welcome to our roller prompt today for Tuesday the 27th of July. I cannot believe where this month's, where the year's disappeared to be honest. Doesn't seem 5 minutes ago that we were looking for signs of spring. And now I see that the heather has come out, which is usually a portend of autumn. Yikes. Anyway, that's not important. Back to what we're doing today. And yesterday I rolled pockets, so that's the thing I'm doing. I'm doing pockets, brown, digital, paper, a flower, some sewing, and it has to be in the style of Shabby Chic. So that's not the worst I've ever drawn, is it? At least there was no vellum on it. So let's see what I've chosen. I've decided to do a library style pocket, so it'll be a floating pocket. So you'll be able to, I've just seen the time, it's 25 to 5. Blimey, I thought it was about 2:30. That's ridiculous. Anyway, that's also not important. So the digital I'm using is this. It's from My Porch Prints Grandmother's Attic, I think it's called, which to me is the quintessential Shabby Chic set of digitals. Every single image in it is just, it's just so shabby. So I selected this one for no reason whatsoever. Could have been any of them. So that's my digital. The brown will largely be the inking. The flower, I'll show you that later. And sewing will be around the pocket. And yeah, we're already off with a Shabby Chic. So that's what it looks like in the whole sheet. It's just gorgeous. I love it. So I've put together a little kit here. So yeah, let me tell you some measurements just in case you want to make one. It's 5 inches wide and it's 6 inches tall. And I've cut a bit of paper to go in there. It doesn't have to go right to the bottom, so whatever, because there's going to be a pocket over it. So I don't think this has got a right way and a wrong way. I think it goes any which way. And I made my pockets the same width but 2.5 inches tall, and they'll go there like that, with that, over that. So as you can see, nothing complicated. But before I do anything, I want to ink round these. Yeah, let's ink round the bits of paper first before we sew them. And I'm using a vintage photo. I will come back in later on and do a bit more inking, but I just want to get some ink down on these before I sew them on, and then I can't get the actual edges of this. So you might see white paper, and I hate that. So it's just, nothing exciting. We're just inking around it. It's been a very pleasant day here today. Not the heat that we had last week, which was almost unbearable, to be honest with you. Right, the next thing I want to do is to sew around those. So let me see what I've got. All right. I want to sew around them and then stick them onto there. And lo and behold, I have one. I haven't made up all my 6 that I'm supposed to make yet, so I've still got some bits to come and go. So that's my pieces stitched around completely and stuck down to the card. This one does go all the way to the bottom, but trust me, you don't need it to. As long as it goes somewhere, down there, you'll never see it because there's a pocket on it. Right, so that's all very nice. Yes, lovely. But I just want to kind of shabby it up a little bit more. That's the top that way, because I've started there, so I know it's the top. Right, so what I decided to do was get my card, the same cream card that I've used throughout, and my big, I think this is a 2 inch, yeah, it's a 2 inch circle punch, but any size will do. Really, any size will do. Cut yourself out a circle, and that's going to go there. But we're going to stamp on it. Now, one of the things that we had to use was a flower. So I'm going to stamp, although I have got flowers in the background, I am actually going to stamp a flower on that. So fortunately, I do have some roundish flowers, stamps. I've got 4 actually in total, and they're all quite nice. I'll use that one, I think that might look nicest. So I want to, because this is a coral colour, it's not really pink, it's coral. So I've got out my abandoned coral distress oxide, but it is so bright. You know, nothing shabby about that. It's shouty, not shabby. So what I'm going to do is ink it with the abandoned coral, and then I'm going to come in with my vintage photo, which I know is going to make a bit of a mess on the vintage photo, but it'll all come clean in the wash. And I'm just going to go around the outside just to kind of tone that down a bit, so it's too much like that. So let's try that. Let's stamp that out and see what we get. I really have not tried this before. Let's use my head. So we'll give that a try. See what happens. Oh, I think that's quite nice actually. See, it's quite coral in the middle, but as it goes out, it goes down to brown. Oh, I like that. Yeah, mark that down as a success. Hooray! Right, that's just not quite dry yet. Oh, I've lost my... Oh no, I haven't. I thought I'd lost my hairdryer thing. Oh, blimey, I've knocked everything over now. Right, I'm just going to give this the quickest of wafts. Doesn't need much. It's just to make sure it's dry before we start inking around it. That'll be fine. Oh, I'm knocking everything over. It's ridiculous. I'll just check that's dry. Right, so now I'm going to go in and get myself... I thought I had a inking board. God, this is professional, isn't it, this one? It's got to be said, this is a professional video. A professional muck-up, more like. Right, so here I am. And I'm back to my distress vintage photo. And I'm just going to go around it. Not all the way in. Just a little bit. Just to shabby it up a little bit, but not grunge it up. So there we are. Let's just shabby it a little bit. So you can see that's going to go on there. Like that. Right. That's our next move, in fact. I want to just mark the centre of this, and I've stopped and started my stitching on the top so as that will cover over it. So I'm just going to mark my 2.5 inches. Come on, get a grip. Get a grip of what you're doing. Mark at 2.5 inches there, and then on the back of the circle, somewhere where it looks like half. Doesn't absolutely have to be, of course. Draw a line. Well, or you can put a mark. I'm going to put a mark like that. Just a little mark that tells me that that needs to line up with that. Right, so I need to ink around here and ink around the back Sorry guys, it's a bit kind of disjointed today. I don't know what's the matter. So I have already inked around the papers, as you recall, but I'm just doing this now just to age it a little bit, or indeed distress it. So it doesn't need a lot, because if you put a lot on, it starts to look grungy and it doesn't look its best, I don't think. And we are going for shabby chic, we're not going for vintage. Although to be honest, I don't know how I could alter this to make it vintage and not shabby chic, but never mind. And round the back as well. And then this way, whoever receives this as a rack will be able to put it in their own journal if they want to, or, you know, you're not restricted. You can have it just as a floating pocket. I don't know why I'm concerned with that bit, because that bit's the bit that's in the pocket. So I'm just wasting my time and yours. I do like blending ink. I think I said so yesterday actually. I think if you're going to put ink on, blending it is a really nice way of doing it. Whatever colour you're using really. I think that's sufficient. It doesn't have to be equal all the way around. Let's get rid of this inking board. Okay, so the next thing to do obviously is to, well, I'm actually going to go around the very edge of that, the edge of the paper, with the walnut stain. I'm using the same dauber, so it's not going to come out really dark. It's going to be a melange between the vintage photo and this walnut stain. So let's just do all of those, just so as the edges stand out a little bit more. But I definitely didn't want to do the blending and the walnut stain. For shabby chic, I do really think it's too dark. But you'll have your own idea, you know, of the colours you want to do. You might want to actually use a colour. I mean a colour apart from brown. And don't forget the bottom as well when you're doing it this way, because you can see that. Right, so there we go. So the next thing to do is stick our flower on there. And I'm just going to use tacky glue for that. And let's see if I can work out which is the bottom. This is the bottom side. So I'll hold my thumb over there. That's the side I don't want to glue, and I just want to glue. I was using this a minute ago. Doesn't want to come out. Right, so there we are. We've put glue on half the circle. Doesn't matter about being exact. It's something like half the circle. And then offer that up with the glue on top there, and you want your points to meet like that. Once again, it really doesn't matter exactly, if, you know, something like making a junk journal, guys, that's all. So there we are. That's lovely, lovely. Now, the next thing I'm going to do will not surprise you in the slightest. I'm going to use my good old faithful flat back pearls. I haven't used them for a while, so it's about time they came out to play. I've no idea where the end of this is. It's been lost for a long time. And I don't need too many about that. I got my flat back pearls from a good friend, Ali, but I know that you can get them in, you know, if you've got a haberdashery place in your local market, they're really good for selling things like that. they're actually really worth going to and having a mooch around, because they tend to sell a lot of things that you might not think they would. So I'm just snipping these off first, and I'm going to put some glue. Now I'm using A6000. I am aware a lot of you have problems with it. It is very horrible stuff. So use whatever it is that you use to get your gems and things stuck down. And then I'm going to go all the way around the outside of the circle. There we go, and quickly get the lid stuck back on that. I have got loads of windows open today. I am asthmatic, and I'm quite lucky that it doesn't generally bother me. Sometimes it makes me a bit wheezy, but generally not. So just start with that, and you do get your hands horribly sticky doing this, and I don't like doing it very much, to be honest. So that's on there. That's on there. Now A6000, I've told you before, it does not dry instantly, which is why I can get away with putting that bit around my circle. But if you see any that's not where you want it, wipe it off immediately, because it's the devil's own to get off later. So this, you just start and you just push it in towards your circle, through the glue into the circle. Sounds like a film. Through the glue into the circle they went. Like that, and that's where I want it cut off there, so I'm going to cut that off now so I can carry on just pushing that in towards the circle. There we go. Just might have to hold that for a second or two. I'm just going to get the corner of my cloth, my Timmy towel, and just wipe up any excess that there is. There's not much there, but you don't want there to be any. Okay, so there we are. Now if you feel so inclined and you think yours would look better by putting, I don't think that's entirely straight. Ooh, I must have my crooked eyes in today. Yeah, if you think it would look better putting it all the way around, then obviously do so. I didn't actually. I stopped there, but that's not to say at a later date I won't go back and put some around all of it. But I think for today that's enough. I quite like that. So let's just stick that down. Come on, glue. Stop being silly. Thank you. If I've got a blockage like that, I do like to squeeze it out. You know, apply as much pressure as you can until it goes. Because I think if you take a pin and poke it in, you're just asking for problems later down the line when it comes to the top again. So just try and squeeze it all the way out if you can, I think is probably the best. So then we're just going to pop this over there like that, line it up. Why don't you want to stick? Do you have a problem of some sort? You're a glue. It's your job. I don't know why it's being strange. It's usually very good glue. It's just been waiting for its moment on video. Then it could be naughty. I'm sure that'll dry fine. I might just put a peg or two on it, actually. Just to encourage it to sit there and think about life for a while, what its job is, what it should be doing. Right, so I'll leave that for the time being, but that's ostensibly it. We've done it, I think. Let's just have a check. Pocket, yes. Brown, yeah, there's quite a bit of brown going on there. Digital, yes. Flower, yes. Sewing, yes. Shabby chic, it's about as shabby chic as you can get, I would say. So, there we go. That's today's. Now I've got to make 6, and I haven't made 6 yet. I have got the doings for them. So we'll get on with those afterwards. But I think in future what I'm going to do is just make the one prototype beforehand and then the one with you, which means I will have 2 to put into the rack box, because otherwise I haven't got time to get on with the other things that I really need to do, and then it might impact on Mr. Green in September, and I don't want that at all. So I think the thing to do is to ignore the how many, and just assume I'm going to make 2 to go in the rack box. One, as I say, is a prototype, and the other one will be the one I make with you. So I think that's better. It's easier. It's easier for me. It gives me more time to get on with other things that I've promised people, etc. Now, somebody yesterday said that I should have used one of those bookmarks that I made to go in here, and you're absolutely right. And when I remember, I will put one in here on the page, because it would be perfect. I'm always losing the page. So let's write what we're doing. So it is Wednesday the 28th. of July, my goodness. Roll a prompt. Okay. I'm going to, before we begin, the ones that I've already had 3 of, I'm going to draw a line through in this highlighter pen, so I know that I can't have it again. So yeah, notebooks I've had, so I'm going to just draw a line there through notebooks. Can you see that? No. I've had 3 blues, so that's off the agenda. I've had 3 purples, yeah, so that's off the agenda. And when we come to the end of this, I will carry on, maybe not quite in the same everydayness, maybe like every other day or once a week or something, but I will carry on. But I'm going to come up with new prompts, different prompts. Some will be the same, but some no. Paper, have I had any of those 3 times? Yes, blooming vellum. Vellum, go away, be gone. Flower, I've had 3 times. I think that's the only one there. Haven't had any of those 3 times. Haven't had any of those 3 times. So let's just check. Yeah, notebooks. Nothing else there. 3. 3 of those and 3 of those, which we've already crossed out. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're all right. So, right, I can roll the dice. And if it lands on any of these, I'll just roll it again. So, the type, here we are. 4 envelopes. Envelopes. That's okay, we've had them twice before, I believe. Once, twice, yeah. So that's the third time. So I'm going to put a strike through them now because we've had them 3 times. Okay, and the colour. I should be marking this in, shouldn't I? Envelopes. There we go. The colour is 3, which is brown. So we've had that twice. So that's its third time, so I'm going to put a line through it. It's getting confusing now. The paper, well, we know it's not going to be vellum because it's off the agenda. 2 12 by 12s. Oh, we haven't had those at all. 12 by 12s. Next one is focal point. Flower. Now we've already had flower 3 times, so I'm going to have to roll this again. 2 sticker. Ooh, that's a new one. Sticker. Okay. So the next one is the decoration. 6 fabric. Okay. Fabric. So that's here. And the next one is style. Get off. 5. Oh no, boho. Yeah, boho. I could have lived without boho there, you know. But never mind, that's what it was. Now, I'm not rolling this bottom one because, as I explained to you, I will only be making from now on 2 of every item. 1 as a prototype, and I'll make 1 with you. And, you know, both of those will go in the rack box, which has grown quite well, actually. But I just haven't got time to be making 6s and 5s of things. And I can't meet my other obligations, which would then, I'm just worried that it would impinge on the time, you know, September, when we're going to try and do Mr. Green. So, yeah, I'm just going to do 2, really, a prototype and then 1 with you. So that's it for today. There, let's take these clips off because I'm sure it's had time to have a think to itself, realise it's supposed to stick. So there we are. There's our Shabby Chic pocket. And those are the things we used. Oh no, those are the things we're using tomorrow. There we are. So I hope you like it. I hope you have a bit of a go at it. I think if you were doing a Shabby Chic journal, that would fit in really nicely. I hope so anyway. And that's all I have for you today. Take care of yourselves. Bye.